Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Cheryl, we've been watching your commercial throughout the day. It will keep running. It's just so fascinating to see all of your technology in action, but certainly the Landa Press has a whole built-in fascination around it to begin with. You are the CEO of Quantum Group, one of probably a handful of CEOs of female CEOs of a printing companies out there. So from all the girls who print, I want to just say thank you for being visible, for being active, for stepping up at trade shows, for being the voice of people who don't have a voice, and certainly for participating today, and also for your help in bringing your friends, the Landas, along. I'm going to turn this over to you now. Thank you so much, and I will be back when you are done. Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Thank you. And Deborah, thank you so much for inviting us to participate. We're really honored. I think that International Print Day is extremely important. And the whole concept of print across America and getting students and young people excited as we are excited about what's happening in the industry is a phenomenal effort. And thank you for doing all that you do. I don't think people understand the effort that you put behind and the support that you give to people coming into the industry. So I thank you. So everyone, I am so excited to be here. One is I get to brag about Quantum, and that's always important to me. And two, I get to tell you about print and actually my fascination with print and what we do. And I just clicked too quick, but it's okay. I get to talk to you about the history of print in the sense that people think of print as, offset letterpress, as very old and mature. And yet here we are, I'm, 40 years into my career, and we're back at the beginning. We have new technologies emerging all around us, not just on the printing press, but all around the press, from, pre-press, from automation that's coming through of how files come into the company, how work comes in, tying into CRM programs, to the finishing lines, going out and being able to track and your mail or your package right to the delivery point. So distribution's included in automation. So automation is a lot of things to a lot of different people in a lot of different companies. I'm going to kind of give you my biased perspective because I think it's everything, and I think every part of it is exciting. I'm going to go to the next one. Let's see how I do here. At Quantum, we're very fortunate. We have a lot of capabilities. We have a board that supports us in trying new things and helping our customers always take the next step. From the traditional pre-press and proofing services, variable data processing, offset printing, we're still in. People seem to think that once you have digital capabilities, it means you're not in offset. That's not necessarily true. And I think it's going to be around for a little while, although I think, we're going to talk about the Landa in a little bit, and I think that you'll see that that is now moved into an offset press room. Digital printing. All kinds of digital printing is out there. We've got 30 years of digital printing. People don't realize that it too has some legs under it. It's been around a long time. It's getting faster. It's more mature. The quality is better. The substrate's more open. We're very excited about all of our equipment. Inkjet, high-speed inkjet and capabilities that we have here are just phenomenal. all of our capabilities surround around one thing, and that is our customer and what we can offer them. We were and have been in history a commercial print company. Now we're probably more of a digital commercial printer, also a mailer, also a fulfillment company and distribution company. And by the way, we also work on the front end with our customers and helping them to get the best out of their capabilities. So when we talk about technologies, as I said, it's fully rounded. Technology means a lot of things to a lot of people, just like the automation does. Whether we're working with our customers and receiving work through API workflows, through web storefronts, online automation, dashboards, reporting, all of our information is no longer one way. By the way, it is a conversation with our customer that goes back and forth. There's a constant information going back and forth. And the reason why is because they need to have constant information and communication with their customers. So we're kind of the facilitator in that sense, which has opened up so many more opportunities in our industry for people coming out of college and that have technical capabilities and know how to combine what they're doing in creative and in in technology. And, we talk about, I always joke that my kids learned how to type with their thumbs, and to communicate with their thumbs. And it's an amazing thing because now I find myself doing it. I find that I go to a piece of automation to communicate. It's part of life. It's part of what we're going through. We have a lot of differences today. We still have traditional capabilities, but we've added so much more to it, and it's much more exciting than it's ever been. And we allow that to pour over into our customers' programs. So a survey found that 68% of marketers today believe that their budgets for print marketing will remain the same or increase over the next year. So we're in this economy that goes up and down. Our customers are telling us that they're still spending money in this area. It still is a future to them. I say it's a future because it's the present and it's the mainstay. It holds everything together. Remember the saying, better together, right? All of these capabilities together bring better results and a better return. So it's very important that we not forget about that. The other thing is that we tend to think that integration is what we do in this building. Integration is not what we do. It's part of it, most certainly, and we have lots of technology here and lots of capabilities. But integration comes to integrate with your clients, with their capabilities, with their CRM systems, right into their marketing programs, right? All the way through integrating with your distribution. So it's no longer a piece of the puzzle. We're not just a company that does printing and sends it out somewhere and someone else does something to it. We are all the way through the distribution process. That opens up opportunity for the future. Print automation also helps the environment. Why? Because it makes us realize that the environment is very important not to waste, right? We've all grown up in an area that we're much more sensitive to the environment around us and to our participation in keeping the environment safe for future generations. Print automation helps reduce waste by communicating to an individual. So you're not printing a bunch of pieces and throwing them out and hoping something sticks. You're printing communications for a single individual, and that's important. Print automation also helps be more targeted. So better information is when you're limiting all the noise around you and you're giving information that matters to the person that's receiving it. That means it's targeted, whether it's a customized print piece for a targeted group, whether it's to an individual, doesn't really make a difference as long as the information that's going to that person is for that person. Don't send me men's clothing. I don't buy them. I buy women's clothing, unless it's for my sons. Then I could buy men's clothing. But the point is, you want the information to go to them. So one other thing is that automation helps to streamline. Again, you don't want waste in the process either, right? We want to be able to give people information in the way they want it. And I'm not saying everybody wants print. If they don't want print, don't give them print. If they do want print, give them the print, but make sure it has the information in it they want it. A recent survey found that more than 50% of consumers prefer print notices over electronic notifications for customer communications. Okay, then 50% of the people should get that print notification. By the way, I believe that was in a report. I have a couple of these reports written down, and that was in the Consumer Action Reports study. The one I cited earlier, by the way, was in Forbes. So all of the information that I cite, if I give you a number and I forget to ask you, please, my email should be on here. Reach out to me and I will tell you where the information came from. I don't just put numbers out there that I make up out of the wind. I get them from somewhere or a study, and I'm happy to share. And here is another one that I'm going to share with you. And this one, the way we wrote it up probably wasn't clear. But basically, critical communications is just that. It has to be accurate. It has to be handled right. Security is important. Privacy is important. Please remember that if you're dealing with critical communication, you have a responsibility. I try to drill into everybody here that we have a responsibility to every recipient to make sure that that information is true and accurate to the best of our ability. 15% of HIPAA breaches reported to the Office for Civil Rights were the result of printing errors. We can't let that happen. And fines for these errors, I put total more than 1.5 million, but really what I should be saying is 1.5 million per incident. This is not, that's the whole cost of it. Every time a HIPAA breach happens, it's approximately or up to $1.5 million in costs. This is very important. This can really hurt a lot of companies. So we're new. Printers aren't old, but we have never had the responsibility that we have today for data and programming and security. We have to take this very seriously, and we have to make sure that we do our part. Otherwise, quite frankly, you won't be in business long. So that's just the way that rolls, right? So we have to make sure. Print automation can help you, and for us, this is the internal part, with your productivity, right? This is the opportunity for us to be able to automate our processes. And we update this all the time. And in fact, we are just in the process of an update right now within our company. And that is workflow automation that we're not finished. And probably, actually, the truth is we'll never be finished, because the automation in today's day and age improves all the time. And you should be taking advantage of it. You should be learning about what's out there, what's coming in the future, and what you'll be able to do next year better than you do this year. So please, everybody, don't take it for granted that because you bought a new software or you put in a new workflow that you're done, because you're not. It's a continuation, and we need to keep it going. And we need to let everybody understand, please don't ever do something because that's the way you always did it. It's a mistake. I run this company with 3 questions. Is it good for the customer? Is it good for the company? And is it the right thing to do? If you answer yes to all 3, do it. I don't care what you did before. Make the change and I'll stand behind it. We may even change it later because I have more information than you do, but you can never go wrong by asking those questions every time you make a decision. And if you're looking at workflow, you most certainly should be asking that question on a regular basis. So, we're going to talk somewhat about us and all of the things that we have been through. As I said, we started off as an offset printer. I think I said on one of the earlier slides that at some point we had, I don't know, 10 or 11 presses here, offset 40-inch presses. And long before I was here, I've been here 6 years. But I can tell you that when I came here 6 years ago, we had already had some digital in here, some nice digital capabilities. We've enhanced them since. But we were doing about 30 million pieces a year in direct mail, which was pretty decent size for a commercial printer. We're now north of 200 million pieces, and we do several million fulfillment personalized pieces as well. So the world has changed. Quantum has most certainly changed. And again, we probably will have a different face in the coming years that you'll see as well. So I put a little roadmap here of kind of where we were since 1992 when we opened our doors to today. And this just goes to show you a lot of the technologies that you see in here, even including the Heidelberg presses. A lot of our original communications and how we set up storefronts are still active today. We're compliant. We have a lot of, we work with financial companies and we work with pharmaceutical companies. And so we have to meet all the SOC requirements and all of, FSMA and HIPAA requirements for our customers to ensure that we're taking care of them properly. And all of that is done we also have some of the hardware and software changes that we have made don't just affect digital printing, but digital printing has allowed us to make a lot of these changes in our offering that we have for our customers. So, in our direct mail, we have 3 ways to do every job. The best way, that's the way that we plan to do it. We think it's going to go through. And the next way is it's still profitable. We may not have done it that way on initially if we could have picked the way, but a piece of equipment went down, a job came in late and it missed a window and we need to get it out. We still need to make sure that that job gets out on time, looks good, and hopefully also profitable. So next way is that. The third way is more of okay, we've had a real big problem here. We need to get the job out on time. We try to pre-plan this because I don't want to lose money on that job. That job is more critical than any other, right? It has to go out. So I still want to try to make profit on it, but I need to make sure I cover my costs. And I need to make sure that I take care of my customer. Remember, the customer was first. So I have to do it for the customer. When in this particular scenario, when I say, is it good for the company? I mean, can I cover my costs? I have to make it happen. So I have to figure out that third method. If I try to figure that out while I'm doing the job, I may or may not succeed. I need to pre-plan for that circumstance. So we have that in place with every job that we do. To give you an idea of our equipment capabilities, this will kind of sum it up for you. In the last few years, as you can see, we continue to still, even through COVID, we said we're not going to stop. We're going to continue. We may not be able to get it in exactly when we want. 2020 was kind of a holdout year for us. But 21 was not, and we increased our inkjet with what the Kahanec Pro Stream. We also put in some nearline finishing that would both work. We have some that is for roll feds. We have some that is for sheet. So rotary die cutting, automating your die cutting process makes a big difference. Again, automation, it's about doing as many of the components as quickly and as efficiently as you can. And now the big one, right, is 2022. We put the Landa S10P. That's a perfecting press that went in here. I'm going to go to the next slide because it brags about it a little bit. And you probably saw the video, so that'll tell you about it. Let me tell you what this means to me. Putting the Landa in here, I mean, I've been following the Landa since 2011 when I first heard about it and got to see it in 2012 at the early Drupa. And I was very excited because Landa took everything one more step, right? It took it to a 40-inch format. It's running at a much higher speed than digital normally does, production digital, that is. And it's a 7-color process in nanographic imaging. So nano means tiny, tiny little dots, right? And they're well controlled, which gives you a much wider spectrum of color capabilities. So I have variable data, customer versioned work that now I have a strategic advantage on this device. I can do it faster, which probably means more economically in the long run. You don't have to wait 24 hours to get it into finishing because it actually is not printing on paper, it's printing on a belt, and then the belt offsets to paper. So because of that offset process that's happening is mostly dry. It's a little sticky, which is what's adhering. And it's a thin, remember, nano size, right? Thin. Nano's littler than a piece of hair. So it is laying that film on the paper and adhering it to the paper through its process. That gives you the ability to then work that sheet in finishing right away. So lots of cool things other than just looking at the press. As you can see, the front end of the station, it's like working in a spaceship. So that's pretty fun too. Having students come in here, we're going to give them a tour in a little bit. They're having some lunch right now, and we're excited to let them see it because even people my age haven't been students in a very long time, walk in and they're blown away by looking at this massive device and then seeing what comes off it. I can tell you that we have one account that has 18 different brand colors that we deal with, 18 different brands, and each of them have their own color sets that they deal with. And we have mastered all of them. We have not had any problems meeting the brand colors. This expanded color capabilities is phenomenal to be able to run very quickly. And I'll tell you something else. A few friends of mine also have these devices across the country. And at the show, at a recent trade show a week ago, we were talking about, can we take a file in here in Chicago? Can I send it to 2 of my friends and can we produce the same thing? And we all said, absolutely, because Landa tells us we can, and we believe them because of what we see in the consistency of print in our own facilities. So a couple of customers have challenged us to do that, and we're going to do that test and show them the results. So this takes us above and beyond what we've dealt with before. I'm thrilled to have the ability to, work with Landa and the team there and to be able to take it to the next step. So what I would say to all of you, and mostly to the students, thank you for coming here. I'm going to go join them and have a sandwich. And this is a great industry. I love this industry. I love being a part of it. I'm very proud that we continue to evolve. People say, oh my God, printing is such an old industry. And I say, no, it's not. It's a brand new one all the time. So I thank you, Deborah Kahn. I thank you again for your support and for allowing us to brag about quantum and Landa. And we look forward to the next event. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh, that was me. I just want to thank you so much for the information you shared. I did a presentation to kick off the event, and when people say to me that printing is an antiquated industry, I show them a photo of a Landa press.
Yeah.
And it's not to promote them. I don't own a Landa press. I mean, I've seen samples from it that are pretty amazing, but it's to show them that it's not some old guy in overalls going, stop the presses, that they see in the movie, and that it's a spaceship and they call it a cockpit. So I couldn't agree with you more on that. I do want to ask you a question though, and I think that you are perfectly positioned to answer this. Now, I'm going to preface it that one time I had the privilege of asking Mr. Landa himself if he thought that printing was a craft or a science, and I only let him pick one. I'm not going to say what he said, but what I want to evolve that question now, because I have to say, as someone who's a print customer primarily, some of these automations are making me nervous that we're going to lose the creativity if it's all about getting it in and getting it out as fast as possible. Now, I believe you don't, well, I'm glad that you're shaking your head and you don't disagree. I'd like to hear your argument why that is not the case.
So I would answer both to that, because I do think that printing is a craft. Making something beautiful from white paper is a craft. The tools we use are scientific, right?
I know.
So
but it's easy
combine.
to say both, but I'm just saying.
I know, but I can tell you that my operators on the Landa, actually, both shifts of operators have come out of the offset press room. I also have some digital people that are involved from the digital press rooms as well. So I still take pride in what we can do with a blank piece of paper. And I think it's gorgeous. And I think you have to have a lot of talent in there. I don't think that we have given up our craft at all. I think we, again, have just changed the tools that they're using. I think that our problem is we're afraid of the unknown. And listen, I don't think the Landa is the last technology that's going to be developed. It's the newest technology that's developed. I think because it's on that 40-inch size, it opened a world for us. It put us in a press room. Before we were kind of on the side, put us into the press room. Doesn't mean it's the end all. I do think it's absolutely awesome, and I drool over it every time I walk by it. But I do think that if I didn't have very talented people in this facility, I would not have the results off it that I have. And if I didn't have even the talent at Landa, I mean, they work with us every day. They're here with us and help us through this process, because you don't know what you don't know. This is a new technology and we're learning. But I appreciate your question, because I think that especially young people come in, think that it has to be one or the other, and they have to pick whether they're going to be more of a scientific side or more of a craftsman. And I don't think they do at all. I think that when they learn to type like this, they learn to live in both worlds. I don't think they should be afraid of it.
Okay, so I agree with you 100%. I just want to go back to the question.
Okay.
The second part of it, which is that, to me, right now, when I hear the manufacturers speak, now that's usually the first time I learn about things and what their goals are. And then allegedly these things manifest in print shops, right? But what I'm hearing is get it in, get it out as fast as possible. Get it in, get it out as fast as possible, which I would say for some applications, yes. But it is concerning me that we're going to lose the artistic craft side if this is our major concern. So that is actually what I wanted to ask you is, are there should people be looking at automating everything, or certain clients, nope, we're going to check all these files in a different manner. We're going to have press checks. We're going to handle it differently, knowing that time and human touches adds money to jobs. I know there's no easy answer, but maybe you have something to share.
I still have customers that will say, I want to come in and see it. What I can tell you is that they come in once, twice, and then they don't anymore because they learn to trust the science, right? And trust the result that they're going to get. And if they don't, they call and say, can you do a one-off and send it to me? But for the most part, they do. It's again, it's the you learn to live in both worlds and you learn how to manage it. I don't think saying to a customer, you can't come in, we don't do press checks, you can't come in. I think it's the wrong answer. I think you let them come in and get comfortable with the process. Again, I tell people, and I'll tell anybody out there that, is interested in working with us, send me a file. Let's take a look at it. I'll print it and you can tell me what you think. I've done pretty well doing that because people are pretty amazed with the result that they're getting. Doesn't mean everybody will be. I'm just saying that it's pretty good. And I'll tell any other printers out there, if you want to look at it and see what it does, I've opened my facility to printers across the country. So you have my email, send me a note and tell me you want to come out.
They actually put your email in the chat. So get ready for that. I think that was actually a fantastic answer. And you're right. It boils down to trust at the end of the day and making things right if they go wrong, and that just strengthens your relationships. We had another session before with a company called Loyalty Loop and about how everyone's afraid of negative reviews, but it's a way to show the world how you handle problems, and problems arise. So I just want to thank you for being so forthright about that, for opening your facility to everybody, and for certainly leading the way and really just being a amazing citizen of the Printiverse and Girls Who Print. Thank you so much, Cheryl. I know you have an open house event. We have a fantastic tag team here. We have John is coming up from Quad, who's going to be talking about the trailblazing past and future of print. So this is perfect. We're going to take a short commercial break and we will be right back. Thanks again, Cheryl.
Thank you.